Good morning. I am Pastor Mark, the pastor of Connect Church, a church starting in the Big Rapids community, and welcome to Armored Up, a program to encourage and strengthen you for a victorious life. Hey, good morning, and welcome to another week of Armored Up with Pastor Mark. Hey, a couple of weeks ago, I got a chance to do something a little different. I didn't necessarily have a Bible in front of me. It was in front of me, but God knows my heart, and He told me He just wanted me to talk to you. And today, I just want to share with you a couple of scriptures. It's actually the same story, but if you're following along, we'll start in Mark chapter 6, and it's 3 verses, 45 through 48, and then we'll pick that story up in Matthew 14. So I just want to start, and I just want to say this message, when I heard this message preached, and I studied it, and I broke it down, and it made a huge difference in my life. In Mark 6:45, it says, immediately Jesus made his disciples get into the boat. This is after the feeding of the 5,000. And says, and made them go on ahead of him to Bethsaida while he dismissed the crowd. After leaving them, he went up on the mountainside to pray. And later that night, the boat was in the middle of the lake, and he was alone on land. He saw the disciples straining at the oars. I want you to pay attention to that. He saw them in the middle of the storm while he was on the mountain praying. And then it says, because the wind was against them, shortly before dawn, he went out to them. Go over to Matthew 14. We'll pick up in 28. And Peter yells out to him. He said, Lord, if it's you, Peter replied, tell me to come to you on the water. And Jesus said, come, he said. Peter got down out of the boat, and he walked on the water, and he came toward Jesus. And when he saw the wind, he was afraid, and he began to sink. Lord, save me. Peter's walking on the water. He gets out of the boat. He has an encounter with Jesus. He's walking to Jesus. As he's walking to Jesus, he takes his eyes off of him. And when he takes his eyes off of him, he starts to sink. He lost his focus. And then the very next word in verse 31 says, immediately Jesus reached out and his hand caught him. You of little faith. That's not the story, though. Here it is. He said, why did you doubt? And this is where it all comes together. And when he climbed into the boat, the wind died down. It wasn't necessarily him picking him up out of the water, but when he got into their boat, the winds and the waves, they calmed. If you allow Jesus Christ into your heart, into your boat fully, he will calm the winds and the waves and the storms that you face and that we struggle with. Some daily, some weekly, some all the time. Remember, when you're walking to him on the water, he will immediately pull you up. But let him in your boat into the depths of your hearts and let the healing begin. This is Pastor Mark. Until next time.